This is Vicky, also known as Dragonfly7673. You're watching DragonflySoars, and I'm recording this on Monday, January 19th. And it's about 5:15 in the evening. I have a Tiggers on my lap because he is quite insistent that he needs attention. And whenever I set him down, he starts singing the song of his people. There's a video out about, it's a cat's diary, and he starts talking about, that when he needs something, he starts singing the song of his people. That's what this one is doing. He doesn't need anything. Little girl is normally the naughty one, and she's over there sleeping. So, I don't have a ton of stuff to show you today. That's the one thing about doing the podcast every week, although I'm going to try and stick to that. But I actually did a lot of knitting, but it doesn't really amount to a whole lot to show you. But I have some things to share anyway. See, Tiggy. Try putting him down. Alright. First up, my twitchy socks. They're still a thread, but the basic tube sock is done. It's still going to get an afterthought heel, but I usually do those when I have both socks done because it's easier for me to figure out where I'm going to cut the heel in, because I do a true afterthought so that a lot of afterthought heels will actually say to, when you're ready for your heel, put some knit across with waste yarn, and then start knitting with your regular yarn again. I don't do that. I do a true afterthought heel where I don't add anything until I'm all done. And that's because these are the socks I knit in the movies. So I can't be thinking about where to put in the heel. I just go, 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 go. And I do have a tutorial about that, if anybody's curious. But anyway, I finished that one. And I did start the toe on the second one. The toe is the first two colors, and then I did this part of the stripe during a meeting at work today. I was kind of knitting under my desk periodically, because it was one of those where I was really having trouble concentrating. The information was interesting, but at one point the person presenting was not actually showing anything on the screen. They were just talking. And so I wanted to make sure I was trying to concentrate, so I picked up my knitting. And I was kind of knitting a little bit, and then I put it down. Then I knit a little bit and put it down. I'm sure people saw me, but it's in this gigantic room. I've told you about before that it's this big auditorium, and I also had to present. And for whatever reason today, I was having a nervous day, and I forgot to breathe. Luckily, it was a short presentation. And I'm more used to presenting in that room now, and some days I am fine, and other days, for whatever reason, I get on a roll, and I start talking so fast, and suddenly I realize I need to breathe. Then I'm thinking about the fact that I need to breathe, and which makes it harder because now you're thinking about it, and it was just one of those. But luckily it was short. The meeting itself was 4 hours, but my portion was little. I'm petting Tiggy underneath the table, kind of like I was knitting during my meeting. So anyway, I did the toe, yesterday. Mostly yesterday. And then did a little bit in the meeting today. The main thing I knit was my hat. Now, you guys remember, I showed you this, and it was, I had done 2 cable repeats last time. Well, after I did that, that was about enough where I could tell, was it going to be big enough around to fit on my head. Now, I knit this on a smaller needle and at a tighter gauge than the ones I did for Halo of Hope, because I wanted it to be denser for wearing in the winter. Well, it turned out it was too small around. It was not going to fit on my head, so I ended up ripping everything back. So then, I started over. And also, this was going to be a hat with a rolled brim. So it started out in stockinette, and the stockinette would roll. Now, I followed the directions, but I wasn't thinking about the fact that I was purposely changing my gauge. And I knit the 4.5 inches I was supposed to before starting the crown, not thinking about the fact that the crown would be shorter than normal because my gauge was smaller. So I got all done, and now with a rolled brim, you know, basically, let me fold this in. With a rolled brim, it was basically about this big. Now, even looking at it, you can tell that's probably going to be too small. And sure enough, I tried to put it on, and it's like barely skimming the top of my earlobes. I didn't want to rip it all out again. So what I did was I picked up stitches from the cast-on edge and then knit the other way in 2x2 rib and added another 1.5 inches maybe. Well, because of that, the stockinette no longer rolls. So I actually gained all of this length, not just the length of the ribbing. So, but now it fits pretty good. So, and when I showed it to best friend, he said, honestly, if he didn't know the pattern and know I had made some before, he would never have guessed that it wasn't supposed to be that way. So, I will put pictures at the end of the hat. I think that's the only pictures I have for you for my stuff, because I don't, the last picture I have of the sock is old, and I didn't show a picture of the new one because frankly they look about the same. They are started at a different part in the sequence, so they won't be exactly the same, but the stripes will line up because if you see that little bit of the light pink there, that's because when I'm starting toe up, if I think about it, I start my cast on right at a color change. So I end up with one little stripe at the toe, and then I do the same thing on this one. This one's got the dark purple, and then the stripes match up. So they're, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but the stripes are lining up just fine. So that's all the knitting I have. It took quite a while to complete this, especially since I had to rip it back and then work on it again from the other direction. So, but I'm happy with how it came out, and now I have a hat. And so I did wear it the other day when I took all the prizes to the post office, which was yesterday. Everything is mailed except for one prize. Actually, two prizes. One prize was the book, 30 Cozy Knits or something like that. I didn't realize that the person that won it, Apple 380, was in the UK. The book, by the time with packaging, is £2. So I was kind of thinking to myself, I wonder if I can trade and do something else because it's going to be expensive. I estimated it out, and it's between $25 and $30 to send it. She actually contacted me and said, you really don't need to ship that. So we talked, and I sent her a Ravelry pattern instead, and now that book is packaged up and waiting for somebody else. So I have not decided yet what I'm going to do with it. I didn't send it to anybody yet. But that one is still sitting there, and Apple 380 got a different price. The other one that has not shipped is the sock blocker, because it's really big and odd shaped, and I don't have any kind of box that it was going to fit in, or envelope or anything. So best friend actually, while I'm recording right now, he's going to the store to get some things we need, and he's going to go to the gym and walk, I think. Anyway, one of the things he was going to do is he was going to at least take a look and see if he could find a box. But anyway, that one didn't ship. It will ship soon. So, and Kathy won that, and I already talked to her and notified her that hers is the only one that didn't ship. That's all for that. One thing, we talked about the prizes for this coming year will be Ravelry and Etsy gift cards. Now, I put down for January that I would do 2 Ravelry $15 gift cards. Well, not gift cards for Ravelry. 2 sets of patterns. You know, the winner could pick as many patterns as they want, up to $15 on Ravelry, and that's one prize. There's 2 prizes like that. I also said I would do 2 $15 gift cards for Etsy, and somebody, I forgot her name, but somebody very kindly let me know that Etsy has a $25 limit. So right now I turned the 2 $15 Etsy gift cards into 2 $25 gift cards. In the future, that will only be 1. But I figured for this month, I had promised we'll do 2. Starting in February, though, it will be 1 Etsy gift card. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm saying a lot. It's been a really long day. I did not say when I presented today, nor did I speak to the speakers up in the sky. Our auditorium, if people are talking on the phone, or if they have push buttons at their stations wherever you're sitting so that the whole room can hear you and it can get picked up by anybody on the phone, all of those come through the speakers in the ceiling. And if somebody asks a question, even if they're in the room, I tend to talk to where the sound came from instead of to the person in the room. So I look up to the sky to answer them. I've been trying not to do that now that Best Friend so kindly pointed it out to me, which I felt really stupid when he pointed it out, and at the same time it's a good thing to know because I don't want to have that habit and known to be looking up, talking to God as he put it. But anyway, I did not do that today. I also didn't say 5,000 times. So some people have been asking about some resolution stuff. So moving is slow. It just is. But we were actually talking that it's probably going to go faster soon because for a couple of years now I have promised my son that if he got good grades and got his homework turned in and everything, that he would I would get him a TV that could actually play his video games properly. And this is the first year where he's really followed through. In the past, he's always had like one class that he deemed unimportant and he didn't care about. This year, and it's partially because of show choir, because he'll get kicked out if he doesn't finish everything, but he's actually like really stepped it up. His grades are up, he's turning things in, so it was looking very good for passing everything this semester and passing it well. So he gets a TV. Well, in the last couple of years, things have also changed, and now I'm moving in with Best Friend, who has 2 awesome TVs. Like, he has a home theater room and another big TV. We don't need, and I have a small TV and my regular TV. We don't need all those TVs. So my son, assuming everything goes the way it's looking, is getting my TV. Well, it's the main TV in the living room, and if he gets that TV, there's less for us to do at home. So we'll probably end up spending more time at Best Friend's house, which means we really need to get moving and actually move stuff. So we need more boxes too. So I packed up some of the books from the bookshelves, and this weekend we are planning on moving some of the furniture from my son's room into storage. He has a bedroom to stay in at the house. Between us, we have 4 bedroom sets and 2 bedrooms. So we don't need all the bedroom sets out. Some of them can go to storage. So anyway, we're going to be moving. Many people commented on my issue with the bike and said I really should get out and try riding it. And I appreciate all the comments. I got a really wonderful message to Nandy that I'm not going to relay here, but it really made me feel good. But it is winter here. It is full of snow and ice. The bikes are currently in storage, so the bike resolution cannot happen for a few months at least. So I will ride my bike this year. Part of telling you guys about it is to get it out there, because I always try to commit to things I tell you guys. I never told you guys I bought a bike, which was part of the downfall. Sort of like my spinning wheel. When I first bought it, I was scared of it, but I ended up trying it out because it seems silly to tell you guys I got a spinning wheel and then not use it. So it will be the same with the bike. Now that you guys know, I'm obligated to get moving on it, but not until the weather is better, because while I am afraid of falling, and while falling is normal and I should, you know, get over myself and just deal with it, and, you know, what's the worst that can happen, I don't really want to set myself up for it by doing it on the ice. So that's where that is. Take you again. Now, the only thing I got just a sec. Our best friend texted about the box, and apparently the only one he can find that it would fit in is 18 by 18 by 12, which is way too big, wherever he went. So the next thing to tell you is I started to show you this when Tiff was here. It was Into the World. The colorway is Flounce. It is from the Lux Club from December 2014. I have not gotten January yet. January will be my last one. I was telling you guys that we have decided to not accumulate so much stuff until we figure out how my stuff and his stuff are going to fit together. But this is, I don't know what the picture was for it. I just got it in the mail and went, ooh, pretty. And told Tiff she couldn't steal it. But it is purples and blues and natural color. So, speaking of that, we started the "What do you want me to share" thread, and there's a couple things. It's going really well. But what I was going to say is that the first "What do you want me to share" I'm actually going to skip. I was asked to look at a new product called the Yarn It, and I actually ordered one, which I realize goes against the thing I just said about not getting more stuff. But I may actually, depending on how it goes, I may give it away later, or I may end up using it. I don't want to give more away, but I ordered one so that I can actually show you and review it. This is actually after I watched a couple reviews. So I am skipping that one until I get the product and can talk about it. So the next question that came up was from Victoria Blue, and she said, I would like to hear about storage, moving, and plans on your yarn and accessories in the new house. I am in a small apartment and have issues with that. Hopes of moving to a bigger place in the near future. Well, my storage in the new house is the same as the storage in this house. There's actually an office. Well, there's a third bedroom in the new house, and best friend has always said that that will basically be my room. There's a big old desk in there that nobody uses anymore. That's attached to a desktop and computer that nobody uses anymore. So that room will essentially become mine, and along one wall, all my yarn cabinets that you might be able to see through here are going to fit along the wall. I'm going to stop here and post pictures of my yarn cabinets. So what you see there are Billy bookcases from IKEA. And there's 4 sets of shelves, and 2 of them are open with glass doors all the way down, and the 2 in the center have glass on the top, and they're covered on the bottom. That's because there's always like weird notions and stuff that really aren't, they're necessary, but they're not really attractive. They can be behind the closed part. But my fiber and yarn can fit in those shelves. So the fiber and yarn is essentially, it's going to go in bins to physically move it. But then we're putting those shelves are moving with me, and they're going to go in the new house. I believe I saw them once upon a time from Tina of the Knitting Blooms podcast. But that's my main storage. The other thing I use for immediate projects is I have ottomans, which can be used for seating, but they have lids, and inside tends to be projects. Like right now, one of the ottomans downstairs has all my squares for my K-facet afghan and the extra yarn and such, which you'll probably notice you didn't see this week. That's because I knit on other stuff and just took a break from the blanket. But anyway, all my extra yarn and everything is in one of those, because then it's handy, because that's where I'm usually knitting while I'm watching TV. I have a 3x3 shelving unit from Target that has some items, but it also has just random books and things. And a media cabinet that also has some random yarn. But most of it will actually fit in the other cabinets. So my storage and moving is just that. And I like the cabinets with glass doors because I can see what I have. The worst thing for me is not having any clue what I have and then going out and buying something else. When I started putting stuff in the cabinets and putting it on Ravelry, I realized I had like 4 different kinds of dark blue lace weight yarn, because I kept going, oh, that's a really good idea, I like that color, and buying it. So I like having the cabinets, they remind me what I have. And having the doors on them means they're not getting full of dust and stuff. So, like I said, he's got a wall that will fit those same 4 cabinets exactly as they are, and I will just be putting my stuff back. And as you saw, my knitting books are also there. I do have less knitting books and magazines than I used to, because I realize I don't go through them afterwards. So I'd rather have them in electronic form if I'm going to. There are a few magazines I still get. Piecework, because I like the historical aspect. Chicago Knits, because it's a newer one and I wanted to support it, and plus it's fairly local to me, being in Milwaukee. And there's another one put out by Cooperative Press that I can't think what the name of it is right now. Anyway, so that is my storage stuff. The other thing, Tiff asked about doing a sharing of charities. Now, as people bring up charities, I will be happy to share them, but I also opened a thread that's just for you guys to share about charities. Now, whether it's a charity knit along you heard about from another podcast that you think other viewers will be interested in, or it's something near and dear to your heart. I posted about Threads of Compassion, which is put on by Blood Center of Wisconsin. They're the ones that made shawls for Tiff and Mom and I when Dad passed away and donated tissue. Sandy, Angel Mom 3, posted about Halos of Hope, and oh, I'm sorry. I am totally blanking right now. Just a sec. Because I asked her. Oh, Mary. Knitting Mary B is knitting knitters. She's making knitted knockers, which are supplying breast implants, knitted breast implants for cancer patients who have lost their breasts due to breast cancer. And all of those, I have links to more information. So all the charities have their own thread. I didn't sticky it yet. I forgot to. But there is another question that has been posted about charts. I will do that another time because I don't want to do too many all at once. It was just that this time there was a couple, you know, the Yarn It. I just wanted to let you know I was skipping it on purpose because I'm getting one to review. Tiffs with the charities. I just went ahead and opened a charity thread. Why not? So the next time will be either the Yarn It or the charts. Please keep posting in there. I do feel better that a couple people posted, and that it's questions. You know, it's, you know, the storage, the charity, whatever. That's the kind of thing I want in there. Things you want to share out or you would like me to explain or share. The last thing I was going to show you, at the end I'm going to post pictures of some stuff Mom is doing. She's still working on her Christmas dollhouse, even though it's past Christmas, but she's still working on the pieces. So I was going to show you last week the pine tree that she made. And it's really cool. And of course I can't remember exactly. That it's a regular dollhouse pine tree that looks bad. I mean, it's like, you know, definite cone shaped. And she read something about adding fern pieces in it and filling it out. And so I have pictures of the before and after. She also made a little tiny angel tree topper, and she just worked on the bed for the upstairs, which she took parts of a cradle and reworked them into the bed frame. So it's really cool. And I think that's it. Let me look real quick at my notes. I go back and forth between the fact that this is talking to you once a week means there's less to show you, but at the same time it means less processing time, which was really nice last week. Yeah, that was all. So I will talk to you guys all next time. Hopefully, again, it will be next Monday. Bye now.